You're about to discover why we're living through the most dangerous moment in human history. Not because of wars or pandemics, but because we're witnessing something even more terrifying, the progressive emptying of the human mind. In this video, you'll understand how the technology that promised to free us is imprisoning us in a bubble of intellectual emptiness. How the educational system has failed to form critical thinkers, and why modern society prefers distracted minds to awakened consciousness. Get ready, because the final revelation of this video will expose the truth no one dares to speak. We're creating the emptiest generation in history, and this is no accident. Imagine for a moment an entire generation that has all the information in the world at their fingertips, but can't process anything deeply. A generation that knows about everything, but understands nothing. That consumes knowledge like fast food, but never experiences the taste of wisdom. This isn't a dystopian prediction of the future, it's the reality of the present. We live in an era where having access to information has become synonymous with intelligence, but the truth is exactly the opposite. The more content we consume, the emptier we become. The human mind is being transformed into a bottomless container, where everything enters but nothing remains. And the most terrifying part? We ourselves are feeding this process. Today we will reflect on this topic. You'll discover how distraction has become the most valuable currency of our era, how the educational system is manufacturing conformity instead of consciousness, and why thinkers like Nietzsche, Jung, and Plato had already predicted exactly this moment. Before you begin, subscribe to the channel, like and share this video. I guarantee that what you'll discover today can completely change your perception of the modern world. Let's go. For centuries, humanity fought to preserve knowledge. Libraries were built as sacred temples of wisdom. Philosophers like Plato believed that true education wasn't filling the mind with facts, but igniting in it the flame of reflection. Socrates was even more radical. He said that wisdom begins when we recognize our own ignorance. But today, something strange happened. We have more access to information than all previous civilizations combined, and yet our capacity for critical thinking is in free fall. Psychologists call this the illusion of knowledge. We confuse exposure with understanding. We watch a quick video, read a headline, scroll through 10 posts, and our mind deceives us. It makes us believe we've learned something. But the truth is brutal. We've learned nothing. We've merely consumed digital noise disguised as educational content. The Korean philosopher Byung-Chul Han described this perfectly. He says we live in the burnout society, where there's no lack of information, but an excess of mental exhaustion. We're always connected, always consuming, always busy, but never really thinking, never truly reflecting. The mind has become a processor on automatic mode, incapable of pausing for deep reflection. Ask yourself, when was the last time you spent 10 minutes alone with your own thoughts? No music, no screen, no distraction, just you and your consciousness. If this seems impossible, you already understand the problem. Technology hasn't given us cognitive superpowers, it's given us superpowers of distraction. And the more distracted we are, the easier we are to control. The modern educational system was created over a century ago, in the industrial era, when the goal was to produce obedient workers for factories. The model was simple: teach children to follow orders, memorize instructions, and not question authority. And that model never changed. Today, schools still operate as intellectual assembly lines. Curious children enter, full of questions and imagination. Conditioned adults exit, accepting ready-made answers without ever questioning their validity. Jiddu Krishnamurti, one of the deepest thinkers of the 20th century, said something disturbing. He stated that it's no sign of health to be well adjusted to a sick society. But that's exactly what education does. It adjusts young minds to a system that values obedience over critical thinking. The school curriculum teaches what to think, never how to think. It teaches facts to memorize, never questions to explore. And when a child dares to question, they're seen as problematic. The system doesn't want thinkers, it wants repeaters. It doesn't want consciousness, it wants conformity. And this has devastating consequences. An entire generation is being formed to passively consume information without ever developing the capacity for critical analysis. They know how to type, but don't know how to dialogue. They know how to Google, but don't know how to reason. They know how to copy and paste, but don't know how to create. Education should be the antidote to ignorance, but it has become its greatest accomplice. And while schools manufacture empty minds, digital media finishes the job. Have you ever wondered why you can't put down your phone? Why even when you decide to stop, your hand automatically returns to the screen? This isn't lack of willpower, it's applied neuroscience. Social media was designed to hack your brain's reward system. Each notification, each like, each comment releases a small dose of dopamine in your brain. It's the same mechanism that makes drugs addictive, and it works perfectly. The designers of these platforms studied conditioning experiments. They know that unpredictable rewards create the strongest addiction. That's why you never know when the next like will come, the next validation, the next stimulus. This uncertainty keeps you trapped in an infinite loop of compulsive checking. But the cost of this is immense. Studies in neuroplasticity show that constant use of digital technology literally rewires your brain circuits. You lose the ability to maintain attention on a single task for extended periods. Your mind adapts to constant fragmentation. And when you try to concentrate deeply, you feel a physical restlessness, almost painful. The philosopher Neil Postman warned us about this decades ago. He said the greatest threat wouldn't be censorship, but entertainment. We wouldn't be controlled by force, but seduced by distraction. And he was right. Today, we don't need dictators to control the masses' thinking. Just give them an infinite feed of superficial content. An empty mind is an obedient mind. A distracted mind has no energy to resist, question, or awaken. And that's exactly how the system prefers it. Populations too entertained to realize they're being manipulated. There's something deeply tragic happening with this generation. They're more connected than ever, but feel lonelier. They have more followers, but fewer true friends. More information, but less understanding. More stimuli, but less meaning. This is the emptiness of the digital age, a life filled with content but emptied of substance. Carl Jung, the great Swiss psychologist, said that people will do anything, however absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. And that's exactly what modern culture offers. Infinite distractions, so we never have to look inward. Because looking inward is uncomfortable. Looking inward means facing the void we've created by replacing reflection with consumption. It means realizing that we've spent years accumulating information, but never developing wisdom. The difference between information and wisdom is profound. Information is external, fast, superficial. Wisdom is internal, slow, deep. Information fills the mind. Wisdom transforms the being. But our modern society fears wisdom, because wisdom requires time, silence, and deep reflection. 3 things the attention economy cannot tolerate. Wise people aren't good consumers. Wise people question, resist, see beyond illusions. That's why the system prefers minds full of useless information to awakened consciousness. And the result? An intellectually empty generation. Not from lack of capacity, but from excess of conditioning. Now we arrive at the core of this crisis, the revelation I promised from the beginning. The system doesn't want you to think. Not really. Because a thinking mind is unpredictable, uncontrollable, dangerous. Friedrich Nietzsche said that the individual has always had to struggle not to be swallowed by the tribe. And today, the tribe has become global, digital, omnipresent. It doesn't burn dissidents at the stake. It cancels them on social media. It doesn't censor ideas directly. It drowns them in a sea of noise and misinformation. The result is the same: conformity. But here's the most powerful truth of all. Intelligence isn't disappearing. It's being voluntarily surrendered. Every time you let an algorithm decide what you should see, you surrender a piece of your autonomy. Every time you accept a ready-made opinion without questioning it, you surrender a fragment of your critical thinking. Every time you choose automatic scrolling instead of conscious reflection, you surrender your intellectual freedom. And this repeated surrender, multiplied by millions of people, creates the illusion that humanity is getting dumber. But we're not getting dumber, we're just forgetting how to use our intelligence. René Descartes said, "I think, therefore I am." But today we could say, "I consume, therefore I forget to exist." The good news: this isn't a final sentence. Consciousness can be recovered, the mind can be retrained, intelligence can be reactivated. But this requires something our modern culture considers radical: disconnection. If you want to escape this intellectual collapse, you need to do what the system fears most. Stop, disconnect. Silence the external noise to hear your internal voice. Wisdom isn't in more content, it's in more reflection. It isn't in more information, it's in more discernment. The Stoic philosophers of ancient Greece practiced the art of deliberate silence. They knew that deep thought only happens when the mind has space to breathe. Buddhist masters taught that mental clarity arises from stillness, not from accumulation. Even modern psychology, with Viktor Frankl, reminds us that meaning isn't in what happens to us, but in how we interpret what happens. And interpretation requires deep reflection. So the crucial question is, will you continue being a passive consumer of digital noise? Or will you become a conscious creator of thought? Because this generation still has a choice. It can continue on autopilot, sliding toward intellectual emptiness, or it can awaken. It can remember that the human mind isn't a product to be exploited, but a universe to be expanded. When you feed it only with superficial fragments, it withers. But when you nourish it with deep reading, with genuine reflection, with honest questioning, it flourishes. This is how civilizations evolve. Not through faster machines, but through minds that refuse to be programmed. Minds that dare to think for themselves, that challenge the dominant narrative, that seek truth beyond illusion. This isn't just a warning, it's an invitation. An invitation to think again, to question again, to live consciously again. Because the world doesn't need more people repeating others' opinions. It needs awakened consciousness that dares to create a better reality. The emptiest generation in history won't be the one that didn't have access to knowledge. It will be the one that had everything, but chose emptiness. Don't let it be you. Don't let it be this generation. If this message resonated with you, like this video, subscribe to the channel and share it with those who still confuse being informed with being awake. Remind them that the true revolution doesn't happen in the streets. It happens in the mind. And that revolution begins now with you. The future won't belong to the fastest machines. It will belong to the most conscious humans. And that future is built one reflection at a time. Thank you for watching.